National Geographic, March 1991. Very back. Cars stay home. Mexico City fights air pollution. Children of Mexico City don't leave for school until after rush hour to avoid breathing the noxious fumes. Even birds, robins, and cedar waxwings have fallen dead from the poisoned skies. So drivers are now doing without their cars and trucks once a week on staggered days. It's part of a $2.5 billion assault on some of the world's worst air pollution, fueled by 3 million car vehicles and 35,000 factories, amplified by winter air inversion of the 7,000-foot high valley. See, reminds me of what happened in Shanghai for the Olympics a couple of years ago. They stopped all the cars, factories, a whole bunch of things, and the people there were like, the locals were like, wow, they saw a blue sky for the first time in their lives. So now they're aware of it. And when I was in Hong Kong a couple of years ago, yeah, that air stinks like a mother, and that's the cleanest air they have, or the second cleanest. I think the first cleanest may be in Macau. Same article, National Geographic, dispatches from Eastern Europe. Budapest, Romania, June 18. It is possible to understand the brutality of the springtime in Romania, but it helps to know what came before. First, the Romanians were forced to fight successfully on both sides during World War II. Then came communism, the megalomaniacal regime of Nicolae Ceausescu, I'm not pronouncing that right, which ended only with his execution on Christmas Day 1989. Romanians had no rights of any kind, barely enough food to survive, a few hours of electricity a day, no heat in the harsh winters, no contact with the outside world. To increase the country's population, contraceptives were banned and abortions were virtually forbidden, which spawned a generation of abandoned children, all of which must have left deep scars in the national psyche. What Custoscu had undertaken, a friend with long-term black experience in Romania told me, was to turn 23 million Romanians into zombies for the sole purpose of producing for the state and for the pharaonic lifestyle of the ruling family. The general idea of his value only was his newly constructed but never occupied house of public, largest building in the world, box outlandish, gold reef walls, blah blah blah. 20 miles of western village, decaying mansion. I see 100 children wandering the halls or sitting outside, sleeping, screaming, defecating, sometimes fighting. Mosquitoes and flies buzz at their open sores. I see autistic, spastic, and retarded children with criminism. I'm told that some can be helped with training or teaching. Little money forthcoming. By these patients, when one of the little patients, a boy no more than 10, takes my hand and suddenly looks in my eyes and can take no more, I have to walk away. See, why do people have kids? I mean, it's ridiculous. I'm reminded of the movie The Fly with Jeff Goldblum. Oh, and I don't mean to spoil it here, but if you haven't seen it, watch it. At the end, what happens at the end? Oh, he wants to merge the woman and the child with him in the pod, because she wants to board it. She doesn't want to have a human hybrid baby, fly baby. And so again, when you watch movies, look, what is Jupiter Rising? There's a spoil of Jupiter Rising now. Overpopulation. What happens when the planet overpopulates? I mean, all these movies, Back to the Future, Marty McFly, the children. Oh, kids, we've got to do something about, everyone's watched Back to the Future, so I'll spoil it. Something that has to be done about your kids. I mean, everything. Anne Sexton, the poet, her name, connotation. I'll talk about connotation. Sex ton. Tons of sex. She wrote about incest, possibly molested by a father. She had all this bad. She committed suicide, and she looks like a normal person. Okay, see? Your name has an effect. All these effects. And I know I'm talking about a ton of subjects, but I'm mixing it, all the subs, and archiving it. I was listening to the radio about 10 minutes ago, and they were talking about the Fed not raising the rates anymore. See, they can't, because it's never going to recover until, I don't know when. But the thing is, they're talking about how 65 used to be Social Security, and now they're going to, eventually raise it, because by 2033 it's going to run out. Right now I think it's at 3-person working for 1 for your Social Security, and then in the future it's going to be 1-to-1. I think before it was, I don't know how many to what. So 1 person would work, but that's when they thought you were going to die, and now from 62 or 64, retirement age, 80, well, now you're going to live to 82, so the thing increasing by 70 by 2033. Population bomb 2030. See, my predictions are usually off by a couple of years, usually about 4 years. So I was thinking that, so right across from that Bertrand Russell article, encyclopedia, not article, but entry, there's John Ruskin, okay. He coined the term pathetic fallacy to characterize an anthropomorphism in literature that he considered false to nature. He explored the relationship between aesthetic values in society in his major writings. Born 1819, died 1900, prominent as an art and literature critic and also a social reformer. Aesthetic theory was based on truth to nature. Personal life was not happy, believed that art reflects the morality of society and is total distaste the forces of industrialism. Led him to the second great concern of his life, social reform. To this end, versus attacks on Ruskin applied similar aesthetic principles to literature, condemning what he called mere realism, praising the vivid imagination representations of Dante and Spencer. He coined the term pathetic fallacy to characterize, and what I already said before. Okay, these superhero movies, they need the heroes reborn on After Birth. Supergirl. I don't know what's that about. I saw the preview; it looks interesting, but they have to tackle overpopulation as the main concern. If you're going to be a superhero, you're going to be dealing with overpopulation. Malthus. It wasn't until I moved from my previous location that's Malthus. You can hear Malthus. That name's not a good name, though. Mal isn't bad. Maybe that's why it hasn't taken off as much as it could. But again, your name, remember I mentioned sexton. Connotative effect, words. And I'll be doing another video about words and their effects and the secrets of words, but